Hello you guys, welcome back to another episode of I Watched It So You Don't Have To. This time around we are finally talking about Scream 6. You guys, we just got Scream. I'm gonna call it Scream 5 throughout the rest of this video just to keep things straight, alright? We just got Scream last year and you guys, I was really excited because I get to rewatch the entire franchise again. And honestly, rewatching everything so soon before watching the 6th installment really made that movie so much better. 1 year after the Ghostface murders, the 4 survivors are looking for a fresh start in New York. While the group is trying to pursue college, Sam is close by trying to look out for the group, but especially her sister, Tara, while still trying to come to terms with her past and what she's done. However, the 4 soon find themselves fighting for their lives when they are targeted by a new killer in a Ghostface mask. This movie managed to be a mess, but it was a mess that I really enjoyed. I love the idea of taking this story way out of Woodsboro in a way that is unique and fresh to the franchise. I really love how the city was a character. I really loved the use of the settings. I loved the bar. I loved the subway. And you guys, I really loved that subway scene. The movie was really engaging. It felt fresh and it felt new. Speaking of fresh and new, I gotta say that some of the things that were established in Scream 5, the way they were handled in Scream 6, like it was ignored. And it was so frustrating to see this aspect play out. Without spoiling anything, I really do feel like the bonds that characters made or bonds characters had were completely ignored. I did not like this at all, and this includes the relationship that was developed between Sam and Tara, but I really do love where the characters ended up. However, because of the way some things played out, I did not care for certain characters or the acting. Speaking of acting, let's talk about our legacy characters first. Kirby Reed is back, and I was so excited to see one of my favorite Scream characters of all time return to the franchise. I really love to see Kirby after such a long time and how her past has really set the course for her life. Hayden Panettiere nailed the role, and she had some moments that I really loved. Courteney Cox as Gale Weathers is fantastic as always. I just wish she had more screen time. Moving on to the familiar faces from Scream 5, let's tackle the twins first, Chad and Mindy Meeks Martin, Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown respectively. I don't mind Mason. I think he did what he did well, but I really love Jasmine as Mindy, and it really just comes down to the character. I really love Mindy for the same reason I love Randy. I love the comedy. I love her read on the situation. I love that she calls out the horror slasher movie tropes and cliches, as well as laying out the rules for our characters. Moving on to Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter, touching on her performance in Scream 5 last year, I was really impressed, and after rewatching the movie, I still am. I was really interested to see how her character would move through Scream 6, pun intended, when she healed up. It took a minute to get there, but in the end, I was really engaged with her acting and Tara as a character. Now, to the character that I was surprised I liked as much as I did. Melissa Barrera as Sam Carpenter. She did a fantastic job. The character and her acting were a massive step up from Scream 5. I do think the potential was there in Scream 5, but was limited by the writing, which really soured her character for me. Sam in Scream 6 turned out to be so much more interesting than I expected her to be, and Melissa beautifully brought all of those subtle details and internal conflicts to the surface. Alright you guys, I watched it so you don't have to, but was it worth the watch? As a fan of the franchise, I have to say yes. It is definitely worth noting that you either like this movie or you hate it. I think one thing that really made me enjoy this movie as much as I did is it did so many unique things that we have never seen before in this franchise that really had me holding my breath or cheering in the theater seat. I'm not dropping spoilers, but I do want to talk about some things that the movie did that I really loved because it was so awesome, you guys. This movie reveals the killer immediately. I I was shocked. I was very, very surprised. Another vague point that I'm going to mention because I don't want to spoil anything, it did something that was so cool, you guys, but honestly, it was actually kind of awkward because I was so excited to see what I was seeing because we're seeing it for the first time, you guys, but I felt a little awkward because I really didn't care about the character the way I think we were supposed to, but it was such a cool moment. Another thing that I really, really enjoyed that I saw online that people did not like was seeing Ghostface use a shotgun in the trailer. I liked it in the trailer and I liked it in the movie. Again, we've never seen that before. It's different, it's cool, I like it. At the risk of sounding some type of way, I really enjoyed how fast Ghostface was. The way that, remember Sam at the end of Scream 5, you guys? Wild, frenzied. Yes, more of that. I love it. We're so used to the slow stabbing, the drawn out moments, which I absolutely love. But this movie definitely features one of my top 5 Ghostface kills. I really love how rooted in the past the story is. And speaking of the past, I really love the addition of Hayden Panettiere and the return of Courteney Cox. Again, I really wish the two had more screen time. They should have had more screen time, especially Courteney Cox. And after seeing the movie, I really wish they used the two actresses and the characters better than they did. Honestly, I think the way they used the characters in this movie was kind of softened. I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of softened with how heavily the story leaned on the past. Touching back on the relatively newer cast that we were introduced to in Scream 5, that movie did nothing to have me interested in any of these characters, but Scream 6 really made most of them more interesting. Before we get to the why you should, why you shouldn't watch, let's talk about the negative reviews. You guys, I saw some really thought-provoking reviews. Stupid, terrible, worst movie. Yeah. Let's get into something that we can really dig into. I saw a review that said Jenna Ortega is basically playing Wednesday Addams in this movie, a sarcastic, unbothered, moody teenager. She's just showing more cleavage in this movie. Honestly, that's hilarious. Obviously, there are so many differences between the two characters, but I can see how they made that connection. The same person said in their review that Sam and Tara are not anywhere close to the strong female lead that Neve Campbell is as Sidney. Valid opinion. However, I don't like to compare women, and after seeing Scream 6, I really think Tara does have a lot of potential, but after seeing this movie, I'm so interested in Sam's character all of a sudden, and I'm really, really eager to see, honestly, where both of them go. I think they do have a lot of potential, but we'll see how it goes. I only picked out a few negative comments that caught my eye, and as usual, all of the points are valid. But if you're looking for a Scream movie that's showcasing a different type of Ghostface, if you're looking for a movie with solid practical effects, if you're looking for a Scream movie that's better than Scream 5, if you're looking for a bloody movie that's on par with the last 2 Scream films, then this one's for you. If you're looking for a realistic Scream movie, if you're looking for a scary movie, if you're expecting Scream 6 to be better than Scream, then I would skip this one. Alright, slasher fans, that brings us to the end of the episode where I watched it so you don't have to. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. Check out the description below for a link to the podcast and additional links because you guys know I love to share links. If you're watching here on YouTube, leave the video a thumbs up if you like the video so I know you liked the video. Let me know down below, who is your favorite character in the Scream franchise? Let's go with top 3, you guys, okay? We love a strong female lead in this house. Neve Campbell is an icon. Sidney Prescott definitely has a spot in my top 3. And honestly, I am eager to see how the story kind of plays out. I still feel like the movies really should have kept following her. They've always been very Sidney-centric from the start, and they should have stayed that way. She should have been in Scream 6, and the franchise really should end with her. I'm still very open-minded about the franchise, and I'm very hopeful after seeing Scream 6, so we'll see. Rounding out my top 3 is going to be Dewey and Kirby. Honorable mentions include Gale, Randy, and Tatum. Before I forget, you guys, if you've made it this far into the video, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked my honey when we walked out of the movie. Rank all of the Scream movies. I ignore IMDb and other people's reviews. We rank with the heart, you guys. That said, it's gonna be 1, 4, 6, 2, 3, and 5. Honestly, you guys, right after watching the movie, when my honey and I were talking about ranking the Scream movies, I actually put 5 over 3. But 5 did disrespect my guy Dewey, and I really love his character so much, on top of everything else that movie did wrong too, you guys. But Scream 5 also delivered one of my top 5 Ghostface kills. You know, maybe the movie wasn't that bad. I really do like the opening. You know, after seeing Scream 6, it really does make Scream 5 better. They pair well together. Nah, I'm gonna keep my list. Let me know your top 3 Scream characters. Let me know how you would rank the movies. Let me know your thoughts all in the comments below. I really enjoyed this movie, you guys. I really loved the setting. We talked about the bar, we talked about the subway. My favorite setting was that Ghostface Shrine Museum collection. I think it's really iconic, and there's so many details of the franchise all in one spot. It was really cool to pick out little details. It just felt really nostalgic and awesome to see. The story was good, and I really love how heavy it was on the past. We also got some really nice payoffs, and I love that foundation that the previous films in the franchise set, especially Scream 5. All of that made this movie better and made Sam more of an exhilarating character to follow. While you're down there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next movie that I'm going to be watching for you. I saw 2 movies this past weekend, so posting today with this video is going to be 65, the Adam Driver sci-fi action movie. And next up is going to be Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And if you're looking for another podcast exclusive episode, I have one planned for the first week of April, and I'm going to be watching Operation Fortune. But until the next video, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, always carry your pepper spray. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.